For 30 years, the music scene has gathered in Austin, Texas for South by Southwest, one of the world's largest showcase festivals. It's one of the highlights of the year for the industry and a place for the stars of tomorrow to shine. Over 2,000 acts vie for the attention of promoters, journalists and label managers. PopXport is here to follow some German newcomers and to see if they can attract new fans liven things up, rock even the smallest of stages, and make a name for themselves in the scene. Because at the 30th edition of South by Southwest, it's showtime for Germany. Excited festival goers pour into Austin-Bergstrom International Airport. German DJ Robot Koch and singer Deine Jugend have an exciting week ahead of them. At South by Southwest, they've both been booked for a number of shows. They also hope to make lots of new contacts with international music labels, bookers and bands.
Part of my plan is not having a plan at all. I'm just coming here trying to be open to things and improvising a little. I'm not here to achieve something, but to let things happen.
I imagine that it's pretty crazy and that there's tons of really great music. And what also fascinates me is that it has this hip Austin touch. At least that's how I imagine it.
But for now, it's time to get some sleep and be bright-eyed for their first performance tomorrow. Texas is the second largest state in the US, and Austin has been its capital since 1839. Located on the Colorado River, the city has a reputation of being very liberal and with a vibrant music scene. No wonder that South by Southwest was founded here 30 years ago. Every March, people in the music business flock to the festival to discover the latest trends and new talent. The festival's general manager, James Miner, is behind the scenes at the Austin Convention Center.
What we're looking for are artists who have a unique individual perspective. Part of that with the international acts are not being a clone or copy. It's more about having that individual identity.
German musician Niklas Kramer has come to Austin from Berlin. He's here to perform with his band Still Parade. But this afternoon he takes time out to visit Straight Music, one of Austin's oldest music stores. Niklas Kramer loves to experiment. He produces all of his own songs at his home in Berlin.
Guitar is the instrument I learned first, and the one I can play really well. But I also do all the synthesizer arrangements myself. And sometimes I play around with the buttons and lay down beats. So guitar isn't the only instrument I use to write music.
It's evening at the German House. This is the hub for Germany-related music during the festival. But if your name's not on the list for the Berlin party, you're not coming in. It's showtime for Robot Koch and Deine Jugend. How do they feel just before going on stage?
We're a bit nervous.
Yes, quite nervous. They talk here and don't really listen. That's hard. It's a tough audience. I mean, they've come for the music, but also to talk.
But the two managed to put on a good show.
I didn't think that anyone would listen, but they all danced. It was really good.
This ranch in Austin's eastern outskirts is where Laura Carbone and her band are staying. The 29-year-old artist from Mannheim is rehearsing her rendition of Chris Isaak's Blue Hotel in a small chapel. It's the first time Laura has come to the US.
The place really suits the music. I wanted to spend time in a nice environment and take pictures and do some filming for my next videos. It's perfect here.
Punk, pop, electro and dark wave, Laura Carbone has already experimented with many musical styles. But she discovered her sound a long time ago.
I came to music by chance. Someone gave me a Nirvana CD, Nevermind, and I put it on and thought, what a crazy sound. I wanted to find out how to make it myself and whether there was more of it. It just sucked me in.
Lunchtime at the Salt Lick, an institution in Texas for over 150 years. Munich indie pop band Kytes have come to check out the Meat Fest. They're grateful for a bit of time out during the hectic festival. They've got big plans for Austin.
We'd like to find a label here for America, or a booking agency, to play here more often. That would be great.
Not only for America. You can get one for anywhere. For Asia, Australia, you can have someone everywhere.
What's their first impression of South by Southwest?
There are so many people here you wouldn't meet in Germany or in a different atmosphere or environment. Yes, it's a bonding experience. The fact you were all here and had a great time. You can meet people from all over. Sixth Street becomes a pedestrian zone at night. Austin is the place to be for live music. No other city has such a high concentration of live music clubs and bars. Bands of all kinds play every night of the week. I don't know what to do. Should I leave or wait, baby? If I go right now, might be being lonely the country. And there's even more going on during the South by Southwest Festival.
There are so many interesting people just walking around, and all the music is just exploding from everywhere.
This is just a big platform for anybody that has a dream to just, express it.
It's the most exciting feeling to be next to so many artists. You don't know who they are, where they're from, but you can feel the music, you can feel the energy of each other.
It's the next day back at the German House, the festival's centre for all things German. On the programme today, they have concerts, parties and debates. The activities here are sponsored by the German government's funding agency for rock, pop and jazz music called MunichThe Musik.
We've always felt it's important that Germany presents its music on the international stage. And it's become clear over the past 30 years how much influence the South by Southwest has on other international markets. It's the gateway to the American market and beyond.
One of the day's highlights in the German House is the Krautrock event. Faust from Hamburg are performing. Founded in 1970, the band helped pioneer the genre of rock and electronic music.
We were ahead of our time, and now the times have caught up with us. We were once avant-garde, now we're gradually becoming mainstream.
The band Stabil Elite from Düsseldorf are part of the next generation of musicians, and they were influenced by krautrock. The five-piece band has already been on world tours, but they didn't want to miss the trip to Texas.
The response varies a lot depending on where you are, although it's mostly quite positive. This was a special krautrock event today, so it was all German rock. But in other countries where we go, it's very different. In Asia, we were just a band of 5 European guys, so people were intrigued to hear our music.
A short distance away, Laura Carbone and her manager have an important meeting. A US journalist wants to interview them on his radio station. Host Dennis Shire has set aside a whole hour of airtime for the German singer. The interview will be broadcast all over the world.
A radio interview is a great opportunity to speak with someone live. I think radio's quite different here, too. I can imagine it's a great way for people to discover my music.
Her music was certainly an instant hit with Dennis Shire. They discuss every track on her debut album, Sirens. He says a good song is a good song. Where it comes from is secondary.
I get thousands of songs and CDs a year, and I choose what I like, and that says it all.
Meanwhile, Robot Koch and Delia de France are heading to Cavender's Boot City, a shopping paradise for cowboy fans and tourists looking to adopt the Texas look. Robot Koch has lived in the US since 2014, but he's never been to a store like this before. The pair soon get their cowboy groove on. The German DJ loves living in the US.
When I moved to LA, I was a bit heartbroken. I didn't have any plans of conquering Hollywood. I just wanted to find myself. I hardly did any music in the first year. I did a lot of meditation workshops and road trips. I wasn't networking much either, but contacts just developed anyway. And because things were just flowing, I knew I was in the right place.
As daylight begins to fade, downtown Austin gets ready for another party marathon. At the German house, Niklas Kramer's band Still Parade are doing their first show at South by Southwest. But their dreamy pop sound doesn't seem to quite fit with the party mood.
Of course, people chat, but there are also a few who listen, and so you play for them. And maybe even the people who are chatting are still enjoying the music. I understand they want to talk, it's okay.
Back at the Austin Convention Center, Ina Kessler is having a look around. Hundreds of music industry specialists have set up their stands here, parallel to the live music events around the city. Ina Kessler heads up the Initiative Musik and was in charge of organizing the German performances at South by Southwest.
We have nearly 1,000 delegates from Germany at South by Southwest, compared to 660 last year. It's by far the largest presentation of German culture and creative German companies on the American market.
Robin Sucroso is one such delegate. He runs his own company in Berlin and is here to present his new invention, an ultra-thin control panel that can produce various sound effects. The so-called ACK-pad can be fitted to an acoustic guitar and controlled with the fingers while playing. His demonstration video has more than 100 million hits online.
It's been going really well. I've made a lot of contacts here, had one performance, and people think what I'm doing is really interesting.
Kytes, meanwhile, are getting ready to play at Shiner's Saloon. The band only got together a year ago, but if there's one thing they've learned in that time, it's that musicians have to be patient. At major festivals like South by Southwest, the schedule can easily get delayed here and there.
We wait for the tour, we wait for the plane, we're waiting now, we wait at home, and in the end we play for half an hour, but it's mostly worth it.
At 11 p.m, they're finally on. American music journalist Alex Maiolo has been waiting to see the German indie pop group live.
Well, the strength of Kytes is they're very professional at what they do. I mean, they're obviously amazing at their instruments, right? They look great, they're well rehearsed, and they perform their songs beautifully.
As soon as the show's over, they have to clear the stage. In the backyard of Shiner's Saloon, they're now free to chill out. So, what do they think of South by Southwest?
It's hard work.
But you need to do it if you're ready. You have to take the plunge. You have to have the right team which knows how everything works here. I think if we'd just been here for ourselves, we'd have looked a bit stupid at times.
Nick Hooper and Jan Kwiel are at the other end of town. They work for the North German festival Wacken Open Air, the biggest metal festival in the world. They're here to network and check out new hard rock bands. It's their dream job.
If you want to do it, then it's the best job in the world. But it's not 9 to 5. You're out 18 or 19 hours a day, meeting people. Sometimes you're shattered. But that's what it comes down to.
Meetings, business deals. We talk about possible future bands, about small bands, big bands. It definitely makes sense for us to be here, to show our faces.
Tonight, a US metal legend is playing at Elysium. Crowbar is one of Nick Hooper's favorite bands.
They've got incredible power. They're part of the New Orleans sludge metal scene. They're great. They've never played at our festival, but if we could get them, that would be ace.
It's noon the next day at Long Branch Inn, just outside of Austin. Not exactly Still Parade's favorite time for a gig, but every minute counts at this week-long festival. They have to set up everything themselves for the performance. And they don't even know if anyone will turn up to the newcomers' gig.
We just hope it's a cool show, and we hope it'll be relaxed. I think it's really important that we're relaxed.
Even though the audience is small, the right people are here. Professionals in the scene who want Still Parade to make it internationally, like their label manager who's travelled from Manchester.
We certainly look up to the bands coming out of Germany because it's also very vibrant, but also in certain ways on the edge. And we've always loved certainly the feel of Berlin music scene. It rivals any music scene in the UK.
Sightseeing in Austin. Laura Carbone has one more day till her concert, so she's making the most of the city's non-musical attractions, like the Colorado River and a bat display.
It was beautiful when the bats came out from under the bridge and flew off. They looked like the Dementors in Harry Potter. It was great.
The boat ride makes for some nice time out, but the performance is on Laura's mind.
I'm not nervous right now, but that could change. I think by the time we do the sound check an hour before the show, my heart will be racing a bit.
Electro producer Robot Koch and singer Delia de France are heading on stage tonight at the Empire Control Room. Kytes have turned up as a surprise to see them play. Robot Koch just remixed a song for them, but this is the first time they've met face to face. Otherwise, though, the club's looking pretty empty.
I'm a bit skeptical. It's nice out and there's a lot going on. It's empty here, so no one wants to come in. People look and think nothing's happening, so they leave.
The room slowly starts to fill up. Robot Koch is used to playing at festivals in front of thousands of people. Is he disappointed about tonight?
To be honest, large crowds are less personal. When you're in front of thousands of people and they're making loads of noise, it does sound good and feel good. But when 5 or 6 people are there dancing all night and they come to you after the show to tell you what your music means to them, that has a great significance. That happened tonight and it's great.
Their professional stint here in Austin is done. Now Niklas Kramer can enjoy a taste of the American lifestyle. After the South by Southwest Festival, he wants to take the band to California to do a few gigs on the fly. He's feeling positive about their time here so far.
Being in America really feels like a big step forward for us. It's the first time we've played live here, and we got lots of really positive feedback. We're happy people came to see our concerts.
It's the final day here for Nick Hüpper and Jan Kwiel from Wacken Festival. Initiative Musik has invited them to the convention center to join a discussion panel on heavy metal in Germany. Jan Kwiel wants to promote Wacken Open Air's work with emerging artists.
I think it's really exciting for the entire heavy metal scene. The genre has no limits. I think that's exciting and important. So we'll continue our work and stay active.
The music experts spend an hour discussing Germany's hard rock scene. Jan is a booker for the biggest metal festival in the world, and his experience means he's in high demand.
Working with heavy metal fans is fun because they're loyal, they're friendly. I mean, all what they need is loud music, beer, and meat.
The pair aren't often found hanging about in conference rooms.
The atmosphere is different from the live music business, but you can find out about interesting ideas that have nothing to do with the scene. But it's all actually happening elsewhere.
Like at Tallis in Trinity Street. The countdown's on for Laura Carbone. This is her first performance in this live music metropolis.
We've got a 40-minute set ahead, new, sweaty, and very loud.
It's Showtime. She's playing 9 new songs, many of which are from her debut album, Sirens. It was also released in the US and Canada, and her North American label has big projects.
The long-term plan here is to get her to come back for a tour, probably in the fall, probably do the Eastern US and Canada. That's our goal.
For Laura Carbone, the trip to Austin has already been worth it. The head of an Australian label saw her and has signed her down under.
wild that people come to a concert and stay right to the end. And of course, it's great when people give you a high five afterwards and say it was cool. That feels great.
Their time in Austin is drawing to a close. But what a week it's been for these German acts. For many, it's a big step forward on their way to the top.